Hello, Assalamu alaikum, greetings, and this is Ramala with Purpose. Go forth in life, a masterclass. I'm very happy to be with you, and I want to thank my daughter, Sophia, who has helped set me up and given me this pencil to write with, my little notebook, because I need to focus myself. I'm very excited, hyperventilating, because I am setting up my website and literally screaming obscenities at my web developers like, ma'am, what are you doing? And I said, you should hear what I hear from men that has gone inside me and now it's coming out. I was like, what? I said, well, there are things that I've heard. You have become what you take it. Never thought I will be uttering the world's most bizarre obscenities. But I want to keep it real. Because someday somebody comes and tells you, this woman who's been giving these sacred master classes like a truck driver. Worse than that. I'm like, if you've lived in the Himalayas for a while and seen men making gestures at you and saying things, and men are the only person that I really get to meet. Like, I don't get to meet women, except online. So when I started talking to women, I was like, ugh. That actually makes me think I've become quite a lot like the men here. And I was like, why are you always like, at the women? But they haven't seen the women out. So that's one of the interesting things. So the way I have my phone in front of me right now, I'm in my phone. It's leaning next to the laptop. And I have seen a laptop in quite a long while. So I'm getting like a cognitive duplicity here. For those who don't know, means I seek the protection of Allah from the distractions of the devil. Now, I've been trying to overlap scriptures over neurology. I'm like, devil means a distraction. Life is a huge, long neurology session, isn't it? Class. I honestly feel I'm going a bit nutty these days. I think the world is, well, yes, it's changing. Spring season is coming. When spring season starts arriving, blood starts moving very quickly. For those people who live in really cold areas, I did not live in a cold area for 34 years of my life. So when I shifted to a cold area, like cold, and then, yeah, I'm just watching the laptop, yeah. I shifted to a cold region, and then when seasons changed, I felt weird, like I wanted to jump up and down, or I was becoming very sluggish. And I've lived in a region where the temperature variation over the year could be like 60 degrees Celsius, right? So we could be down to minus 30 degrees centigrades and like up to 33, 34, 35. In fact, I think we experienced a range of about like 65 degrees centigrade throughout the year. That's a huge variation. That makes you go up and down. I think it was interesting because it makes you discover things inside yourself that you didn't think existed. And I started becoming various people that I didn't know I was. Alright, so my beautiful daughter has brought me, yeah, hold on, that's it, I want this one, this set. I used to wear a lot of necklaces. I was doing crystal work. Can you bring me sugar, please? And I will put sugar in it. Thank you. And so I decided to wear some crystal things today. Yeah, hold on. And let's start this masterclass. Purpose, right? So I've been watching people, and some of them have like found their purpose meanwhile, by the way, for a while in these Facebook groups, right? And many of them are like, I don't know what to do with my life. Now, there was a time when I was in my 20s and in my 30s, and the whole issue of purpose was really big to me because I worked professionally in career-related field. Hold on, let me get to it. You like this? Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What do we have here? We have emerald, we have amethyst, and we have sunstone. And emerald is the stone of truth, at least of nature. Amethyst of clarity, and sunstone of enthusiasm. I was working with healing crystals for a while when suddenly my brain started shifting and I started teaching, and I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm possessed. Let's talk about that. Okay. So I've been in Facebook groups, and about a year and a half ago, I somehow discovered these coaching and healing groups. And discovered, like, I don't want to offend anybody, but there's some kind of a cultish thing, like a clique thing. And they have their own language, and they have their own protocols. And the last time I saw this was, maybe in disaster management. And before that, I saw this in social media, like when we bloggers started our own clique, we had our own language, we had our own vocabulary. I started blogging in 2003, 21 years ago. And some of my blogs are like 20 years old now. Gosh, I can't believe that. Hold on, Subi. There's no sugar. I wanted sugar, please. The sugar. Okay. So I discovered this world of coaching and healing, etc., where people had their own really well-defined language. And within that, those groups, I started seeing people, of course, who were talking about finding their purpose. Now, thankfully, over the year, the groups have started allowing people to talk about their issues. When I joined about 1.5 years ago, it was like, it's all love and light. Don't talk about any issues. You'll be kicked out of here because you aren't manifesting enough. And I was like, am I getting delusional? Because if I'm not wrong, I think people have certain challenges in this world. Like, if I'm not wrong, then I when I was looking at this coaching world, I was like, am I hallucinating or something? Because if I'm not wrong, the world is going through a socio-economic crisis, right? I'll tell you a bit about myself. I am somebody who's always trying to figure out the world, read patterns. My name Ramala means somebody who can tell the future. And I'm like always looking at things. And I'm into computers. And before internet came on, I was a library person. Like, I wanted to know where books were. Like, it's natural to me. And I wanted, when I found a book to read, like a book like this, right? I wanted like a metadata of this book, like where has it come from and stuff like that. I wanted to know about knowledge, where does knowledge come from and things like that. Hold on, I'm a bit distracted. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm losing a bit of track here. So, yeah, I don't know why. I'm feeling content. Suddenly. I need to breathe. Yeah. It's actually that time of February when your blood starts like moving over here in Himalayas. So today I had one of these feverish days. I've been sneezing, I've been cold, I've been feeling like my blood is going up, and then I feel like crying and feel like taking things out. I'm just going to jump. I feel like I want to jump out of this room. And maybe this is the day to talk about purpose. I'm feeling possessed. It's so funny. Let me rephrase. I'm very excited today. And a bit sad. I was setting up a website, then got lost, and then I'm trying to set it up, and I'm like, I have to do it. The guy's like, you're speaking at a really fast speed, and I was like, I have downloads upon downloads coming to me. I just don't know. I want to burst forth, and I want to teach people things. I can't control myself. It's because as I was saying, I got introduced to this world of coaches. And when I went there, I think I've had enough of this world because it was like love and light. And I was like, wait a second. I started my career as an MBA, working as a brand strategist and then in media. And then by 2005, I had jumped out of this. And I was like, I am going to work as a consultant on environment, etc. because I've thought that was the thing that was coming up. In 2005, I started setting up my office from my home. And one thing after another was just coming to me, like pieces were coming to me. So I set up my office from home, and my family was like, "What are you doing? You're ruining your career. You're this star MBA." And I was like, "I want to work from home. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel right. I feel like it's the next thing." Also, it helps me reconcile the difference between life and work. Now, I don't say that much to my family. The reason being, and I keep on saying it to my family, I say the scary thing about you, the moment I talk about something domestic, you try to force me into marriage with somebody, like, so I can't talk about something domestic. And I can't talk about my aspirations because my aspirations are very artistic. I'm like the person who has diaries like this, and nobody in my family does that. They're very austere because I have only male siblings and I'm like the only woman. So they keep on defining me as eccentric, which I'm not. Anyway, so I did that, and I did so many things. I did disaster management. I started teaching entrepreneurship. And I started a consultancy which was actually called Next. And then I started watching the web and started writing reports on what's going to come next, right? So amongst those reports was this prediction about a world that was like, I think I saw different branches. Like in one of the scenarios, the world was becoming very technical. In another one, the world was becoming very organic. In another world, you leave technology and you run to something ancient. I just don't even know. Like I'm feeling very pulled towards the technological world right now, and I wish I could have left it. So there was a time when I felt like I should leave technology and run anyway. So in all the scenarios, there was like an end time that comes, and a big economic crisis happens, and people shuffle, right? So I knew there was something that was going to come, and basically it is like a reassignment of roles. Basically, the end of the world, or this big shift that is coming, is like a reassignment of roles, right? But when it comes, people will not be ready for it because they're going in their certain lines, and they're not ready for this big reshuffle that is going to happen. And right now, they're talking about evil people are doing this and this and that is doing it. It is literally like an evolutionary push. There's a lot that's going into it. But with that is coming like an economic crisis. It's not even a crisis. It's just that we are used to doing things in a certain way. And many of us are used to a world of privilege. And when I say many of us, it's the people who are kind of online and who've been there for a while and who've had access, right? Right now, we have in this world right now a lot of people who have gained access to the internet who previously didn't have access. Like you couldn't believe 10 years ago, this person would be online, this person would have a phone, and they all have a phone. Like your maids have a phone, and your servants have a phone, and the person in the remotest corner has a phone. And they're logged in, and they're online. So us is like even the definition of that is changing. But there was a world of people who had access and privilege, and there was a world that didn't. And both of us were going to face a crisis, right? Particularly the ones I thought to myself who have had access and privilege, because then they would see all sorts of other people rise, which is pretty good. But then things start shifting, right? And I mean, just between us who have been somewhat privileged, I told people, well, I said, you know what? You will have to do a lot of work yourself. That should be good actually, but prepare your body for it. Otherwise, it's not going to be good. And secondly, you will stop getting the help that you have been banking on, and certainly not at the rate that you used to get that help on. Like if you can exploit some worker at, I don't know, $1 an hour, it will no longer be possible. So if they push their rates up to, let's say, $10, you will not be getting the services that you're getting today at $3 for $3 anymore. You will not be getting the products that you're getting today at $5 or $120 at $5 or $120 anymore. So partly the crisis that you're going to face is going to come because the world is going to become fairer actually. Are you ready for that? And as for the billions of people they would be looking for services. This is actually maybe it's a very good era. It's just that those of us who are very familiar with a certain kind of way the world works are not going to be used to it. And those people who were used to being left out, and for them the change comes in the shape of, like, they were very used to banking on each other's compassion and community. And that thing is going to change for them. Because, like, I live now, right now in Himalayan communities, right? And previously they had an exchange and barter system. And now they're shifting to a money economy. And when they shift to a money economy, they're like, people don't love us anymore. And I was like, yeah, but this is, this is the new thing. Now, I have some reservations about this, but more or less, I feel weird both sides because I used to live in a normal global economy and then I shifted to these remote economies. So I feel crushed on both sides. I have two kinds of disappointments to deal with and news to exchange on both sides. So anyway, this is what was going on. And I was, about 10 years ago, I was like, there's going to be like a major shift and crisis in the world. People wouldn't know what's going to happen and they are going to start screaming. And we need to help them out. And I wished that I were in some kind of a place, like I ended up thinking of Istanbul. I wished I were in some kind of a place where I could sit and have like center in the east and west and meet people. To me, my identity as a Muslim woman is very important. I wanted to meet the people of the world, Muslims. Like, I wanted to root myself in a Muslim place and then meet non-Muslims as well and really start talking to them about this global shift, also as to what can Islam offer, because Islam can offer quite a lot. And I'm not talking about the jihadist, militant Islam thing that goes on. I'm talking about the essence of Islam and the teachings of Islam, the daily teachings of Islam, the teachings about economy, about transactions. Like, I really am very interested in the economy part. So I go to this world of coaches and healers, and it's like a very love and light and manifestation. But I don't know. I was like, even though I kind of hate it, but I also need that because I have become very altruistic. Like, I've become a Jesus Christ, and I need to be stopped in my tracks because I'm becoming. I'm gonna fly off this planet, the next thing, because there's nothing left. Like, and this really started happening to me. Like, I had some neurological change happen, and I started walking ultra fast. And I came to the Himalayas, and I walked so fast in the valleys. They were like, either this person is a supernatural witch, or she's a spy. So word spread that she's a spy. And I suffer from that every now and then. Like, even a few days ago, the country is very interesting. Hold on. What is going on? Submitted questions will go here. Okay. So, the country's very interesting spy agency came. Like, who's this woman? What's she doing? Hold on. There's a poll or something. There are all sorts of things happening in life. So I go to these groups which prevent people from talking about dark stuff. And then I certainly started seeing around December 2022. I don't even remember what year this is. And then particularly around December 2023, this started, like, a mutiny started happening. And people were like, I've got to talk about the fact that things are not okay. And people are, like, quietly pushing in, like, putting in, like, I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what to do with my life. And I have a lot of ideas and this and that. And I was like, I want to jump in and start talking about purpose. Purpose is what moves you. And you can't just be hanging around in your narcissistic cave, because I think there was a time when we spent a lot of time on self-care and this and that. And right now I felt like if people want incomes, if people want to get out of a sense of hanging too much in the narcissistic, self-centric zone where I've hung out as well, I think what we need to do is to marry ourselves with a purpose. Now, what's the purpose? Now, I'm one of those people who have helped people, actually, even professionally, but career. Like, career is something that I seem to be engaging a lot with. When I was younger, like, starting with my teenage, I would talk to people about their choice of studies and then choice of career. third thing I talked to them about was marriage. Like these are three things like that really take you forward, as for a modern human. What field of study you choose, what field of work you choose, who do you want to marry? When I was around in my early 20s, this became very, very important to me because I was doing a job in a television center, television network, where I was actually choosing anchors. I had opened a talent department. I had to choose anchors, and I had to look at people's resumes and listen to their dreams, and like memories of that coming to me today is making me feel a little bit weird, happy and upset at the same time. So I was a young person myself, and I helped a lot of people with their careers, and I was like looking for my direction myself. What started happening, what I started seeing over a period of time, is that I would do something, and then it looked like I needed to do something more, something else. So I would go to something, and it was like I needed to do something else. And then I thought that I found the ultimate goal, and the ultimate goal was, would you stop jumping in the bed, please? It's distracting me, thank you. Yeah. I thought the ultimate goal was like go from the city and go to the Himalayas and set up a farm. I have not set up a farm yet, so I don't know if that would feel like a purpose, because when you set up a farm, it then puts you in a cycle, and then you develop and grow in place. As they say, you just no more going forward and forward. Setting up a family also puts you in a cycle. So I've been in a cycle for a while. When I was raising a kid, like I couldn't just go on and on and on. But I do feel right now I'm in my mid-40s, reaching my mid-40s, and I'm like, this thing just keeps on moving forward. Like whether you're going in a linear forward or in a circular forward, but it just keeps on going on and on and on and on. My purpose just keeps on moving around. So it's even shifting about. That gave me a headache. And right now we have this scrolling thing on Facebook. Like the first time I scrolled on Facebook, I was like, when does this end? Why do people keep on talking about the same thing over and over again? Because in my life, I was the kind of person that if I dealt with something once, I would not deal with it twice. And if you had to tell me something, you would just tell it to me once, and I would follow it for the rest of my life. Like I got stuck to it. But I've now realized that while it was a tremendous gift, it was also not great, because there are things we start doing and believing in as a kid that we have to let go of, because life just keeps on moving forward. Which brings me to the purpose of this masterclass. Purpose. What I want you to do is to use a trick that I found to inquire into what something is. Okay, I'll show you a trick. It's a $2,000 trick. Let me show it to you. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what your purpose is. Are you ready for that? Magically, I've got your purpose right here in front of me on my screen, on my laptop screen. I'm feeling impish. Hold on. Are you ready for it? I don't know why I'm laughing. I feel like I'm drunk. It's a spring season and I've eaten a lot of... Are you ready for it? Because I've got your purpose right here, okay? Happy to see myself laughing. Hold on. Let me turn a nice lamp on and then we'll show you your purpose. Are you ready? How have I magically found your purpose on my screen? Let me choose a nice color. Here we go. Here's your purpose. Ta-da! Now, basically, to understand what something is, I learned a trick to go to the dictionary and look into the roots of that word, like what that word really means. Okay, so when we say, what's my purpose? I was like, what is the meaning of the word purpose? And when I looked up the meaning of the word purpose, I actually found my purpose and yours. Now, here we go. Purpose, noun. Circa 1300, Purpose means intention, aim, goal. Forget about. Give me the flash. Okay. Object to be kept in view. Proper function for which something exists, from Anglo-French purpose, Old French purpose, whatever, and aim, intention, from purposer, I don't know how to pronounce it in French, whatever, to put forth, from forth, from variant of Latin pro, forth, seeper, Old French, I'll pronounce it in English, right? Poser, to put or place, right? Etymologically, it is equivalent to Latin propositum, a thing proposed or intended, but evidently formed in French from the same elements. Anyways, so hold on. To put forth, basically, this is the one that I'm looking for. To put forth, right? What I discovered when I once did a video on it must be somewhere on YouTube, because somebody else recorded it for me for their channel. That video is about what purpose really means, right? And when we say, what's your purpose? We make it sound like, what do you need? What do you want? What's your purpose? What do you want? But that's not purpose, what purpose means in the dictionary. In the dictionary, purpose means to go forth. Isn't that funny? Go forth. Your purpose is not something that you want. Your purpose is you going towards something with an intention. It is literally taking the next step, I would say. Purpose is when you go forth. You do it. Now, the human attention at its best is actually not an attention that goes forth. The way human attention is better designed is that it's receptive. Now, what happens is, when it's receptive, there's something that is coming towards you, but you are going towards it in a way. You receive it to let it in, and this is how you kind of go for it. So you have to go for it, but not by grabbing it or predating upon it. You go for it literally by letting things be, I suppose. And when I looked again at this particular site that I had opened, I just noticed that remove all ads from the site. I was like, well, I just noticed like remove all ads. I thought it was like remove all blocks. Hold on, here we go. Remove all ads from the site. Yeah. Let the site in by removing the ads, like removing the blocks in your way. When you want to discover your purpose, start removing the blocks to your thought, to your mind, to your intention, to your action. And your purpose will literally just start flowing to you, and you will feel like you're flying out of your body towards it. Something will start realizing itself. That's the big magic thing that I want to talk about. Have we said enough? Conclusion at 7:30. The reason I think I'm laughing today is because I feel like God wants to give to you. And I was designing this website, which literally, I feel like God asked me to do it. Some months ago, I was heartbroken. I had lost, once again, the love of my life, 7th or 8th love of my life. And like a cat, I have 9 lives, but I'm on the 8th one. So I gave myself a title, Hubb'Allah, love of God. It's shifting my heart right now, by the way. And I started a program. The name of it dropped in my head. It's called Blessed on Facebook. As I had joined this universe of coaches and healers, teachers and guides on Facebook, it occurred to me to use a phrase to greet them, stay blessed. Because I was feeling very unblessed and I was feeling very angry. I'm still very angry. I have a lot of things to be angry about, at myself and at others, and just feeling like a fool because I've been very distracted, I've been very sick, I've been very hurt, I've been abused. Like technically, hold on. Yeah. So I started using the phrase stay blessed. And then God dropped a word in my head, blessed. And started the group. And the group is kind of growing on its own. In the sense that I thought that in Islam, hold on, I'm going to clear the screen a little bit. In Islam, I can't see, hold on, I'm trying to, yeah. Some kind of thing showing up on the screen. I wish I could remove this, but okay. So, in Islam, there are 99 names of God, and I started the group thinking, well, I'm going to go live every day, and I'll give the meanings of 4 names, talk about them. And if I take some breaks, like 2 breaks a week, I will be done in like 24 weeks, I guess. No. But it didn't happen that way. The whole course has started like taking a life of its own. I'm inspired by the people who are in the course. I'm looking at them because I'm like, I don't want to preach at people. I'm very responsive to people. I don't feel capable of preaching at people. People are very smart. And we are in a day and era, I believe, where the voice of people is literally the voice of God. You've got to listen to it. And you've got to have the ears to put it together and make it good for yourself. But then also remember God. Because if you only listen to people, then very soon it will degenerate, it will become trash. So you have to keep on kind of spinning it with your energy. And your energy, good energy, just doesn't come from your intentions, as I was wrongly taught by some people. It comes from remembering God very actively. In fact, if you remember God, then God will shape your intentions for the better, because you in some ways cannot generate and do not generate your intentions, by the way. So it is primarily the remembrance of God that shapes us. So I said, well, I'm just going to start remembering God. That looks like something that I can do and continue to do. I can go forward doing it. And let's see what it does. And it started shaping me. It started shaping me. It started taking a lot of things away from me. It has started organizing my space. For the longest time, I was just not able to organize my life. Like I could go to a room, and I'm a creative person. I have creative things all around me. I just didn't know what to do. Once I started taking this certain direction, everything else that was irrelevant just started falling apart in a way. And from many fields of knowledge, including giving people career guidance and having long been a proponent of selfhood, something that I, by the way, get taught by people around me to not practice. Unfortunately, by my own, some people that are very close to that writer, Rudolf Steiner, each time I met this new philosophy, any new philosophy, like when I saw Waldorf schooling, I was like, that's it. Like, I want to fly off to Goethe Annam. This Waldorf is right. So Waldorf is this play-oriented philosophy of learning. But when I saw it for the first time with art and play and all these beautiful colors, the kind of which I have in front of me right now in this beautiful lamp right here, I was like, this is it. I want to go. And then I would find something else, and I was like, I want to do this. Organic farming, this, that. But after a while, like within weeks sometimes, I would figure out that writer, that person. I was like, okay. Funny thing is, I'm kind of already doing these things. Like I wanted to do these things as a child, so no wonder this appeals to me because this person is just an affirmation of what I really wanted. I was a very switched on kid. I knew what I wanted. So when I looked at these people, I was like, wow, that's a great idea. And then I was like, yeah, but that's what I was doing when I was 2 years old or 3 years or 4 years old. Like I wanted to make art. In fact, this person hasn't really taught me, but this person is reflecting to me what I already know to be true. So, like a bird would go around picking straw for its nest by its design. What is placed around us in the world shows us what our design is. And I'm somebody who is somehow, for the whole life of me, conscious life of me, starting from teenage, I've been talking about personhood. I've been talking about, at that time used to be, as I said, the purpose to me, because of the world that we were in, was defined in terms of studies, career, and marriage choice. Marriage I couldn't speak of because my father was very cruel about that, very abusive, I'm sorry. I mean, he was like a child. So right now I'm like, that seemed abusive to me. It wasn't abusive, it was like he was just trying to, I don't want you to get married to the person of your choice. And I never turned around and said, well, I want to. Even though he kept on giving hints, like, if I ever stop you from something, you can say that you want to do it. And I was like, you sound very scary when you do it, and we've been taught to be very obedient to parents. Unfortunately, these kind of social programming, we feel like I've got to be very obedient to my boss, which was also part of my programming, or you've got to be very obedient when a man says something to you, which has led me to becoming abused by a lot of men, or you got to be very kind to your servants, which has led me to getting abused by people I engaged as maids, etc., until like literally looted from me, and I was like, no, you got to be kind to them, until something said to me back in my head, oh, this person is abusing you, like, why are you sleeping? I was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be kind to them. Then I was like, no, you're supposed to be awake to them, not just automatically kind to them. First of all, they're not used to people being kind, and so what happened is that it overwhelms them and they become a little bit crazy. That happens a lot to me. I am kind to people, and I'm like, yeah, the Muslim philosophy is that you just go ahead and you do some good for the other person because God has given good to you, and you're supposed to just get up every morning and say, what good can I do to the world? So I was literally one of those people in my late 20s, even in my 30s. I was like, get up, like, I'm going to go to the computer. What good can I do today? I'm feeling this energy today, even though I'm like very angry. I run out of money. I'm refusing to take money from my parents because I was like, you don't let me live my purpose. And if you don't let me live my purpose, I'm not going to accept money from you, because they were like trying to push money onto me. And I was like, if you give me money, but you tell me what to do with it, then either I accept and I do it, or I can't take your money. Like, if you're going to tell me what to do, and then tell me the next iteration, like my father would just sit down and say, well, with this money, I want you to open a shop. Then I want you to put 6 computers in it. Then I want you to sell 3 of them. Then I want you to get, oh, it's like that. You got a whole plan. But I don't blame him. I had the same mindset. In fact, I look at myself and I figured out this is what my dad was thinking, because we are all the eldest. Like my mom, my dad, and me, we're like the eldest. And we have a certain disease where it's saying, we're going to go from this point, and then there is going to be that, and there's going to be that, and there's going to be that. And then my father actually says, I've got a plan for the family future. And the poor guy, he planned. There are things that he told me, and I didn't agree with them, and then he always blaming you because you didn't agree, or this person didn't agree, that person didn't agree. So he started hiding things, and then he planned those things, and those things went bust as well. So there came a time when our family just started sitting and thinking, like, why aren't things working out? Like, why do we plan something and something else happens? And in the Muslim spiritual teachings, this is literally what God says. You will plan something and I will plan something else. I will do something and I'll screw it up. And I was like, God, what are you doing? Aren't we supposed to like have some kind of sense and planning? Like, God says yes, but do it in real time. Go for it. Don't just sit down and say, well, I'm sitting here, I got everything figured out for the next 25, 35 years. Whoever does it, including the largest and the most smartest governments in the world, it doesn't work out for them. It doesn't work out for the oppressed. It doesn't work out for the oppressor. It doesn't work out for the haves. It doesn't work out for the have-nots. It doesn't work out for the victim. It doesn't work out for the abuser. It doesn't work out for any of us. We need to keep on going forward, and in this has God kept our beauty, our sanity, and our health. What we are thinking of is something that is scaring us, world-changing, and this and that is literally actually the little real, actual, should have been this way all along and remain this way, and this is a way, state of being. It's like the wind never has a destination. The wind never says like, okay, I gotta go from the north and south, that's it, I gotta move forward as well, and again, and again, and again, yes! And the wind doesn't sit down and plan, well, I'm going to go here and then there. There are certain patterns to it, though. There are. But then, even if the whole pattern is figured out, they got to follow that pattern, move around and move about. And what God does is that once that pattern is established, like this is a pattern, and then the whole pattern starts moving. Here and there and here, here and there and here. There is an Urdu is my language, a line of poetry. It says, Sabat ek taghayyur ko hai zamane mein. The only thing permanent is change. The only thing permanent in this world, in this era, in times, is change. Zamana is times, epochs. Sabat is stability, taghayyur is change. In time, in the epochs, the only thing stable is change. It keeps on changing. This and this and this and this and this and this. God has been wanting us to see a pattern. Oh, what's this going? And actually nothing grows in a linear fashion except people's attention. The male attention is very linear, the masculine attention. Not strictly the male, because women can have masculine attention when needed to be. Actually, both genders of humans, the both binary genders, do share both kinds of attention. Otherwise, a woman would not be able to cross the road if she didn't know how to go straight, right? And a man would never come back home from his office if he didn't know how to turn back around. So we have both these kind of attentions. The predominant way of thinking and attention for the male, though, and the masculine way is linear, and the feminine is cyclical, but the predominant and the dominant and the overall way is circular. And this is why in my class, Blessed, Heal with the 99 Names of God, in which I teach the 99 Muslim names of God, we go into the meaning of those names. There's a list of names, and there are separate different lists, and the most popular, 99 names. And it talks about these two names called Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, which also compose a statement, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, a popular statement that you would have heard even if you're not a Muslim. And this is a statement with which Muslims are supposed to begin every activity, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah is like with the name of Allah. With the name of Allah, who is Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, translated as the merciful and most beneficent, or like some kind of feminine thing. But these names come from the root word RHM, which means womb, basically. It refers to the feminine qualities of God, like the merciful, loving, kind. With the name of God, who is merciful, loving, kind, most beneficent, most giving, Mama. Meaning I start in the name of Allah, who's like very producer, and then you have 99 names in which there are masculine names like angry and this and that. I will do justice, and I'm going to control you, and I'm going to compel you because God needs to. Like if your mama is working and she's kneading the dough and whatever, like she's doing and controlling the budget and keeping things in place, even if she's not angry, she's got to put things in place. Dust the house in the morning or in the afternoon, put things together, right? So just like a mama gets to work. This is a understanding that has helped me understand God the best. God is a mama at work, a very busy mama who takes shapes. Mama can be hard. Mama can be very hard to the extent that mama can be deadly cruel. You gotta go forth with mama. Purpose. Come here, do the work. So, what is occurring to me is, like, I'm trying to put these spiritual realities together because I, for one, also am getting really tired of how much we human beings talk and how much we are looking for things to inspire us. And I got addicted to it, but actually it gave me a headache. Like when I was in my 20s and I came to Facebook, I wanted to like really teach people and say to people, I figured things out. I figured some good things out. And if I tell this to them, your life is going to work. And I joined Facebook 17 years ago in 2007. 17 years I'm sitting here thinking, I've got all these diseases that all these people are talking of. Like I'm a hamster wheel of signing up for courses and healing myself. Healing. I'm never healing. In fact, it has torn me apart. Like I've diagnosed every sickness within me. I'm like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this dress, I don't have that dress, I don't you go on my WordPress website, I don't have this plugin, I don't have that plugin. Oh my God, I haven't, like, oh my God. Life used to be far more simple back in 2004. Like you could pick the smallest thing, a document, put whatever you want in it. And today I'm like looking at reams of things, like whatever. So it's the reverse of purpose, like slipping down. Sort of like I said, stop. Go for it, go forward. By the way, all this constant scrolling is supposed to keep us addicted and make us fall down and down and down and down and down. They're doing it on purpose. They also have a purpose, but it's a bad and evil purpose. So I'm trying to put these things together. Like I want people to have like a little schema of life, and I want them to get up in the morning and believe in themselves and have some easy peasy philosophy that take them forward and allow them to do a little bit of work, which then flourishes. If you have to do every bit of everything, then your life doesn't have the bliss that needs to have. Because what God does is that you plant a little seed and it sprouts a big tree out of it. Like sprouts a whole crop out of it. When you think about it, little tomato seed goes in. Out of it you get, with proper care and all that, 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't know how many tomatoes. Think about it. I was like, wow. And it's mentioned in the Quran as well, the Quran, the Muslim scriptures, and other scriptures as well. Like you plant one seed and God gives you so much. Wait a second. Whereas if human beings invent something, like if you made a bottle of this, it's just one bottle. Like the plastic bottle, I mean. One bottle is one bottle, one plastic pen is one plastic pen. It's actually going to deteriorate. Not going to make a baby. Hard to get rid of it. Hard to even deal with it. Like I got this, I started working with it, like it's already dried out without doing much work in its short life. I don't even like these pens or markers. Like this is why I'm very stuck in my work. I'm like, I don't like these markers. Basically, like, you use them for like 30 days and it's gone. It's like rubbish. Like why would we throw this in the landfill? What are we doing with it? So anyway, purpose is God, Mama, taking you forward. Come along with me, come along with me, come along with me. And behave in ways in which we all don't get stuck. Don't be mean to others. Don't create things which cannot be disposed of easily, which get stuck up and choke up in the windpipes of this planet and the guts of this planet. Oh. I'm being very animated today. I did not drink anything but this regular Pakistani tea. I promise, I swear. I do swear. These are the Muslim statements that we say before we begin anything. So your purpose is really to go forth. How do you go forth? What is in front of you? What are the skills you have? What knowledge do you have? And do you feel you need something? Which brings me to the point that in these spiritual circles, you say everything you need is within you. Well, that doesn't mean I'm going to pull out a pencil out of me and then I'm going to pull out a notebook out of me. It's just, in a way, that kind of starts happening once you move with intention, purpose. But I would say that my needs are also within me. If I need something, I need to do it, because some people make this abstraction so rigid that they're like, you don't have shoes? Well, you're going to produce shoes out of you. No, I have to go to the market. What you need is within you. Yes, my need is within me. So I'm going to go to the market because my need says, well, you need shoes. And my eyes can see that over there in the market are shoes. I need to go forth and get myself shoes. I need to keep it real. So, just because purpose means go for it, doesn't mean it's going to happen automatically. You have to gain worldly skills, knowledge. That is part of going forward. That is part of clarification of yourself. You gain knowledge in order to clarify your own concepts, in order to become better, in order to become smarter, in order to become more informed. Yep. And in order to aid the organic deposited matter within you, what is already there, what has been transmitted to you through generations. Now, I guess there would be people in this world who have had poorer transmissions given to them. Maybe their ancestors didn't really help them out in certain ways. But I do think we have transmissions in different directions. Like there are people who have been given transmissions of actual knowledge, verbal knowledge, bookish knowledge. There are people who have been given transmissions of athleticness. There are people who are gifted with different abilities. So in that sense, you got to trust God. Like God has given something to you, but if there is something that is missing in you, go ahead and seek it. That is also what God says. Go ahead and seek it. If you don't believe in God, then just listen to yourself. All right? If you don't want to believe in some kind of official God, if you don't hang on to God, because I was also the person who said to people, don't hang on too much to God. Because also at the time, in our society, at least, in my brown society, at least, people hang their expectations onto God and then they sit in front of television doing nothing. I don't know. In the end, eventually, as long as you're sincere and you keep on seeking, things work out. I've seen like literally horrible people, most disconnected, disrespectful, disadvantaged people, distracted people, things working out for them. And I'm like, what was I doing? What was I thinking all along? Like I kept on telling them this is not going to work out, but it did work out for them. In the end, when they got up and they made change, though, by the way, this is when change actually happened for them. So maybe I did my work right, because when they got up and they made change, often when I kicked them in the butt, they really changed. So maybe yeah, it was a bit of to my credit, but I was telling them all along, you have something in you, and there's God in front of you. Like if you just do it, it's gonna happen. And I need my own lessons too, because I'm like, just do it and it's going to happen. God's been kicking me as well. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do this? God, like, just do it. I need to go out and I need to make a website and talk to people. So God said, okay, just do it. What am I going to call my website? This is what you're going to call your website. I had a problem. Well, go fix it. Doesn't matter. Have you given up that quickly? Have you? Don't. And you maybe just don't even need a website. Just go on live, talk to people. I will send people to you. And my heart says God to me. Because I was hanging on to this website. I'm not going to teach people unless I have this website. And what happened to me some days ago, I was like, just go ahead and give these masterclasses. Just start teaching people. How long are you going to hold on to yourself? Like, I've been trying to do this since 2007 and 8, and I'm actually very scared because there are some family and friends of mine who, when they find out she's teaching, they're going to attack me. And when they attack me, my senses do get frazzled a little. That's very unfair to me, though, because when they talk to me, I lose my words. But I have learned to bounce back. Go for it. Do your thing. Some of us have to like really go for it this way because we're trying to do something new. We're trying to tear through other people's not going forthness, and we're trying to tear through inertia. I've felt that a lot. My society has a lot of inertia and a lot of tradition worship and like staying put and slavehood and no victim stories. White people did this to us. Black people, not black people, but like white people did this to us. We did this to each other. Hindus did this to us. Muslims did this to it. I'm in the Indo-Pakistan sector. Mental blocks. I say, is any Hindu, is any Muslim, is any white person doing anything to you right now? You're sitting here watching television, no Hindu, no Muslim, no white person stopping you from that. The moment you have to work, oh, white people are doing this to me, black people just, not black, but like Hindus are doing this to me, and government is doing this to me. Government doesn't stop you from watching all this rubbish television all the time. How much of your sense of self and jumping out have you discovered, and how have you used it? Or is it just a mental construct? I do know there are people in slavery. I know there are people who are like locked under the floors in some kind of subterranean vault or something. And yet people have the will to go for it. Now, I'm not talking about those who are absolutely captured. But I will encourage people that whatever legitimate, kind of mostly legitimate way looks open to you, take it. Now, when it comes to legitimate, there are people who make things illegitimate upon you for their own purpose. Or they use the sense of legitimacy to block you. So do you want to go towards your self-realization and to answer God's call? Or are you going to say, well, it's a prison, I can't break free from it. You know, I used to be a good citizen. Like, it's a prison, you can't break free from it. Are you there fairly? I don't know. Think of your life purpose. Think of what movement does come from inside. I feel a bit of purpose right now, like moving, uprising, because what is it? 17th of February, around 22nd of February, a certain wind starts blowing in the Himalayas, got a dusty wind, pollen starts flowing within the basically spring jumping up happens. The flowers start rising, and I was like, if I were a flower, I'd be like, I gotta come out, right? Feeling this energy. And the same thing happens in me, because all the water, like the bodily fluids, which are actually stagnant during winters, are like, and so I feel this, like, I feel my nose running, and I see it, my kid is running, it happens very few days, it comes down. Nature has its own sense of purpose, which also brings me to the subject briefly of contentment and of going with the seasons. Like when you go into winters, your body just slows down automatically, and then you're there, you're like, oh man, another season's never going to come. Oh, I'm resting. This thing is blah, 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 that happening. I'm never going to get another chance at earning an income again. Blah, 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 blah. But come the springtime, the flowers start springing. And come the right time for you after rest, you will want to jump out. I have been in bed in this very room. It's a hotel room, actually, since July. I checked in here with my mom, 15th of July. And she was supposed to be here for a month in the city. So I had told her, you come here and we're going to put your stuff in the hotel room, and then we're going to go out and pick a rental for me and you live with me, whatever. I don't think they really meant it, but they're like, okay. So she came here, and shortly after got into an accident, and so I took care of her for about a month. Then she went in the middle of August, and I was like, I felt ill after that, and I was like, and I was ill during that. And I was like, I'm gonna leave this place by September. And my family said, okay, because this is pretty exorbitant, and they said they'll pay for it. And I've been here since July to August, September, October, November, December, and half of January. I was bedbound in that bed right behind me. I was unable to get up. There was a point. And there was a point when I would get down from bed right next to the bedside and just like a meter or so from the bathroom door, and all I could do was like go to the bathroom for like an hour at one time. My body just discharging a lot of water and fluid. Sorry for too much information. Like just discharging. Like all the cells opened up, all the lymphatic drainage system, whatever opened up and discharging fluids and fluids and fluids and fluids. And the hotel staff said to me, "Well, we don't see you coming out." I said, "I never know when I'm gonna go off." And it's like for 1 hour, like at a time. Like I spent 4 to 5 to 6 hours in there, and then afterwards, like on the floor, and all my minerals and calcium just floated. I was like, "This body's not gonna move again." And I showed my family pictures. So like, look at it, my bones are sticking out. Like if I take the shirt off, like my arms are this skinny, as if I've been, God forbid, in a concentration camp. Then I finally figured out, it's like I've lost my body mass and I need to put it on. Like, how do I do it? Like, start eating. I ate so much. My daily food bill is like, my 3 or 4 days food bill is what used to be my food bill for a month. Or 5 to 6 days. 1 month. And I'm still hungry. Like I just ate before the session. I'm drinking during the session. And I'm like still hungry. Very excited. It's the body just going into its own thing. So I told my body for once and all, I said, well, I'm going to start removing my diet ideas and ideologies from you, and I'm going to let you take in what you need. I tried a different mindset because I was starving myself in the name of keeping myself lean, and climate, it requires us to do this and that. And so I said, hold on. Let my body decide, and then let it take in what it needs in order to go for it. Go for it. And the body said, I need something that can give me energy. Like, I need food. And I said, okay, you take it. I started taking that in. And then I'm like, I'm so miserable. Like, I'm eating so much. And now I'm feeling like I have the energy. Now, when I have the energy, sorry, I can work. I can, like, just work and make myself useful, earn it back, or like do housework or whatever it is in order for a female to earn her place in the world. And I'm like, yeah, I have it. I felt 2 months ago, I'm not going to stay alive. I felt 2 mornings ago, I'm not going to stay alive. I'm not going to be alive anymore. I get up in the morning and I'm like, because I think my body has consumed all the food overnight. I get up and I'm like, I'm not going to be alive anymore. Oh God, shucks, what am I going to do with my kid? So I get up and I said, well, let's order breakfast. So I gave myself a routine. Go for it. And what I needed to do right now most in these past few days, like eat, rest and eat. And so I did that. I've been going for it. Eating. And it has started showing results. It started compounding. Your going for it will start compounding. This is what I'm doing with my business as well. Building a little bit every day. Previously I was like, I have to go for it, do this and that. Now it's like, no, it builds up, and it will start sort of giving of its own. And it's not like I've got to jump from this thing to this thing. You've got to build up and 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 build up until it starts showing something. You plant a tomato seed, and then you give it water, and you give it nutrients, and then you set things up, and then you set the trellis up for the plant tomato vine to climb over, and then you set up the garden, or whatever your pattern is. Go forth and go forth and go forth, and it's going to compound, grow, and then start going to blossom on its own. If it is something this world. Bad things will also grow, but they're going to be evil, and they're going to be really bad. Satan will come to your aid if you're doing something bad or wrong. If you're doing something mistaken, this is going to collapse, and you'll be like, what it is? What is it? And sometimes you could be doing something right, but it's going to take time to shift. I'm going to do a masterclass on that as well. It's called Bokashi. So what's purpose? Go for it. Allow things in. We don't go for it in a predatory fashion, though we might feel like it. We go for it by realizing we need to get something or give something. Get not in a bad taker sense, like in order, like why do we take food? Because it's part of our holy mission. It's part of our mission of being alive. Like my body needs this, and then I'm focused on contributing to this world. So when my body asks for something, I put that in. It's part of my worship. It's part of my work. It's part of what I'm ordained to do. I use my common sense. I don't fall for New Age and New Age philosophies. I don't fall for programming. I keep my common sense about a few things that I need to remember. I gotta wake up in the morning. I gotta sleep in the night. I gotta live common sensibly. I gotta keep myself clean. I gotta keep myself focused. I can only do as much. I can only deal with as many people fairly. You realize that you are not going to be able to deal with more when you realize that you're not giving the dues of those that you're dealing with most closest to you, and you start with those closest to you. You literally do. Our attentions are often made to be projective, especially in the military industrial world and the world that has been trained by television to take flights of fantasy and newspapers and this and that. You get up in the morning, oh, something happened in this country, a bomb went off, or there's like a concert taking place over there in America while you're in Pakistan. Who cares? What's taking place nearest to you? In your world, have you done your dues? Have you taken care of your room? Have you paid your, like, what is coming closest to you? Have you taken a debt that you need to pay back? Are you indebted to somebody, like you need to do something in the morning for your family? Are you indebted to yourself? Because mostly we are here to take care of ourselves, like our personal self mostly. Gonna polish my shoe, gonna brush my own teeth. For a while you brush a child's teeth, or maybe somebody who's handicapped or something, or has some kind of disability or need, but mostly you do your own work, you comb your own hair, you wash yourself and all that. Like 80-90% you just take care of yourself. And when you do your task, they take up other people. Like, okay, my task is to go in the morning and just make breakfast. This is my task. My husband is like pruning the garden, etc., etc. My son is like washing the car. According to the size of our family, we have our assets defined, and then we take care of it. This purposely every day doing our tasks, doing the tasks, making sure we have said hello to our neighbor, we've done our dues, got up in the morning, taking care of our clothes, and given people their attention, said hello, said goodbyes, and that's it in the moment. Dealt with things there and then, and not woven one thing into another. Oh, this man is going to pay me and then I'm going to do this and that. I mean, yeah, there is a natural weaving as well, but mostly you deal with things on a isolated basis and then they get woven in anyway. This is how the web of your life will be woven. You remove false expectations. You remove the urge to take and grab from others. You remove the urge of abusing others. Yourself will get clarified. Purpose does not come without clarification, by the way. If you're cluttered, if you're blocked, if you have ugly intentions inside of you, your purpose is actually going to get blocked. But also, it doesn't happen just because of evil. I say a sentence, a very hard sentence, but hear me out. It's like evil and stupid go hand in hand. In fact, stupid can sometimes be worse than evil. Stupid is a very strong word. But if you remain persistently in a state of having no knowledge and then continue with your life, and that you become, in this day and age of a lot of information, particularly, a huge liability. There is a time that comes in when people say, well, how naive were you? How gaslit were you? Like, did you never wake up? Did you never realize that things are not working out? Or maybe you really were very damaged, in which case you were a special case and God bless you. I'm one of those, by the way. But really, did life not wake you up at any point? Were you not praying to God to wake you up? Like, don't you have a prayer practice that tells you, God, keep me in the right path, don't take me in the wrong path? But in the civilization, unfortunately, we're also distorting the very definition of right and wrong. We're actually even saying, don't use the word right and wrong. Sadly, there are good reasons for that because people have been tortured in the name of what is right and wrong. So we need to correct quite a lot of things in this world. I am not going to say that, yes, you can just charge in this world with your purpose, the mindset thing. There is a lot that goes on to it, into it. And I will give you those permissions. I will give you those activations. I will cut those creepy cords that says, well, you will never ever need anybody's help. Yes, you do need people's help. Oh, you don't need to add anything to your knowledge. Yes, you do need to add a few things to your knowledge. You need to learn those, get your work done, and then move on to the next thing. Right? Do what is closest to you, what is most immediate to you, and then you're gonna, once you've taken care of that, given it its due, you will go on to the next thing. This is something that I'm applying to myself as well. And then do it. If you can't do it because somebody's stopping you, have you tried arguing back with them? Which I hadn't tried. For 20 years I've been sitting. My mom is doing this and saying this. So I tried screaming back at her and it worked. She didn't. I was like, Mom, you were so scary all my life. What were you doing? But I've got only myself to blame. Why was I taking those people so seriously? My friends and people on the internet and troll, and this person said this and that, and I was like, just close my entire website down. Somebody said you have a Facebook page, and I don't have a Facebook page, so I shut my Facebook page down. Why did I do that? How important were those people to me? So, I'm saying all these things because I'm addressing people exactly like myself who have got a lot of things going on in their brain. Because I've seen some of those people and I noticed them in the group and I was like, what's the wonder this person is like sort of bleeping in my receptors. I see a bit of me in them. And I told them I can help you. They're like, I don't want help. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I said. Well, I can help you out though. So here I am, talking about purpose, kind of like a sifting thing. Once you sift yourself, trust that you have things within you that are going to take you out. Sometimes you could have been very depleted, very malnourished, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Put things in yourself. Excuse me. Put yourself in an environment. There's a cough and a sneeze at what? Hold on, kiddo. Put yourself in an environment where you put in positive data in yourself, encouragement in yourself. That is also very important. You need to take in something positive. You need to be with people who move, people who have good energy, people who have a sense of purpose. It's going to take you forward. You may not align with their purpose, but the good energy is going to take you forward. Like, so I'm with these. Hold on. Yeah.
Do you want a glass of milk?
I would like a glass of milk, thank you. And then heat me those noodles, please. Thank you. Alright, so promise me that you're going to surround yourself with people who have a sense of mission purpose. And I did surround myself with some people who maybe I don't even like their purpose, but I like their sense of movement at least. I was like, well, let me get on with the energy. It's like walking in, I don't know, a big street, like Istiklal Avenue in Istanbul. You're not going where everybody else is going. You may not even like where they're going or where they're coming from. But you, at least like you go with the crowd, like you have a sense of movement that you can go to the alley that you want to, a shop or home that you want to go to. Who is stopping you? Grant yourself that permission as much as you can. I'm not going to say everybody's absolutely free. What I am going to say is that the more you start sifting your attention out, the more it's going to become powerful. And a sense of authority will emanate from you that will push away your distractors over time. At least weaken them in front of you. I feel very strong talking to you today. It's 8:17 p.m. here according to my laptop's digital clock. And I need to cap this. I think this was supposed to be like a 45-minute talk or something and made it longer just to cap this topic completely. Thank you for being with me today. This was Purpose, the Masterclass. I want to do a longer version of it where we pour into these etymology of this word, going forth. Talk about the manners of going forth. Talk about the blockages to going forth. Talk about the distractions that you have. So that people who have ADHD and neurodivergence and all these labels that people are coming up with, which is fundamentally an inability or unwillingness or not knowing that we have to gather towards the center. That is the core of the disease. What is that center? What are the values of that center? It has some arbitrary values that depend upon us, and it has some core basic values which are fundamental to civilization. And this is what we got to do. And these are things that we are not going to do. Like, you can have a purpose of keeping the planet cleaner, for example, and more vibrant, and keeping it polluted or dark or horrific or this and that cannot be a purpose. Or these two purposes cannot combine and go with each other. And the one day they are going to confront and clash with each other, which is what is happening today. So it's either going to be this or it's going to be that. And there's only one winner in the game. One right place to be. Alright? See you around. Thank you so much. Next week I have another masterclass. It's called Perfected. Not perfect, but perfected. And then we'll talk about what perfection means and how you can perfect yourself in an ongoing fashion. I could talk on and on. Thank you. I'm going to go and scream at my web development guy for screwing up my website and setting it up in such a way that I cannot fix it. I gotta go. I have a purpose. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you and see you around. Allah Hafiz. Mean God be your guardian. Salam.